Okay, now I'm going to do some weird stuff here, man. Well, I can't even read that one. 10 to the log base 10 of 49 power. When you have the base with an exponent and then the logs base, those cancel out and it's 49. That's a rule. Okay. 3 log base 3 out of here and it's 6. 10 to the log base 10. I don't need to know anything else. It's 30. Okay. Now, here's why you learn. We just did that and what you learned yesterday. Now, in science, okay, you use all kinds of like these formulas, scientific formulas with logs. Okay, if you take college science, you will have to know how to manipulate those to solve for variables. Okay, so even though I'm not going to put a bunch of scientific story problems because I'm not Bill Nye, the science guy here, I'm going to give you the skill set to know how to at least say, yeah, I've seen that before. I get it. You got to solve the equations here. So you're solving for x. So log base 5 of x plus 6 equals 3. Now here's the first one. You see your base 5, write 2 big 5s on each side. And what you're going to do is everything you see is going to become an exponent. So that 3 is now a power. And that log base 5 of x plus 6 is now a power. Okay, so what happens here if I have a 5 and a log base 5 of my exponent? Well, they cancel, okay? And that's just going to give me x plus 6. And then 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So I take 6 away from both sides, and that gives me the answer, 119. So you're like, well, I don't understand what the big deal is. Well, they get a little bit tougher as you go. Okay, first make sure, by the way, when you're solving these equations, first you need to make sure there's only one log. Okay, you want it condensed, and they already are. The beginning equation is only one log. Okay, so I want to use 3 as my bases, and then the 4 becomes a power, and then this entire thing, so this entire thing is a power. So log base 3 of 2x minus 7. And then the 3 in the exponent log 3 I know can be canceled. And that is 2x minus 7. And 3 to the 4th power is 81. Okay. So plus 7, 2x equals 88. Divide by 2, and that's 44. Okay, I think after that you know enough to do the first problem. There's only 2 problems, okay? I think you know enough to do the first one. You'd use the 2 big 2's and then... Okay, now I have to solve for x here. Forget the directions. Your goal is to solve for x. Okay, the first thing you need to do is condense it so there's only one log base of 6. And then we have 2x minus 6, and it's a plus, so we need to times by an x, and then just put equals 2. The equals 2 won't change. So I'm condensing the sum of the logarithms into one logarithm using the product, the plus partner. Okay, now we do exactly what we had been doing. We have 6 as the base, so 6, and I'm going to have a 2. And I'm going to have that whole thing. So log little 6, and then 2x minus 6 times x. Okay? So we know that the 6 and the log base 6 as the power will cancel. And over here we have 36. Now, when we have something like this, we're going to go to scratch paper and find that product. So 2x minus 6 times x. So 2x times 1x. And negative 6 times 1x. So 2x squared and negative 6x. These will not go together, so I just write them down. So 2x squared minus 6x. Well, I can see there's 2 answers to the equation now. And since I have this and this, we're going to have to factor, okay? So I'm going to set up factoring boxes here, and we'll see what we're doing in that one. First, you got to move the 36 over, okay? So 2x to the second minus 6x minus 36 equals 0. Okay, and then the GCF. You do have a GCF here. It would be 2. Okay, then you divide out 2, and that's going to be 1x to the second minus 3x minus 18. So it's 3 terms, so you know you're going to use your T-chart. So negative 18, difference of 3, and that's 3 and 6. And A equals 1. So it's XX, 3, 6, minus 6, and plus 3. So the answers are going to be negative 3 and positive 6, because if you set them equal to 0, you know what's going to happen. Okay, I've got several more here of those kind. Are not fun, okay? So first, you condense it into one logarithm, with x minus 9 being multiplied by x minus 3. And that's 2. The base is 3, so we want to use 3 as basis. And this thing, yeah, you're darn right, that whole thing is an exponent then. So log base 3 of x minus 9 times x minus 3. I know that cancels, and then the 2 becomes an exponent on the 3. So I have 9 over here, and then I need to go to that piece of scratch paper and do my FOIL method. So x plus negative 9 times x plus negative 3, x times x times negative 3, negative 9 times x, and negative 9 times negative 3. So that's x to the second, that's negative 3x, that's negative 9x, and that's positive 27. These two add up to the negative 12x, though. Okay, so I have 1x to the second minus 12x plus 27. Now, you got to remember, you have to subtract. You are going to do your GCFT, but before you jump the gun on that, you have to clear the 9, okay? Otherwise, you're not going to get anything that works. So that's 1x to the second minus 12x, and 27 minus 9 is 18. Okay. I'm glad this problem came up. There's no GCF here. So 1 times 18 is 18, sum of 12. Problem is, that's 19. That's 11. Close don't count. And that goes to 9. So it's time to sing. Opposite of B, opposite of B, plus or minus the square root. So b squared, so negative 12, and then a 4. A is 1, c is 18. And then 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, so I've got 12 plus or minus, and that's 2. You can enter that square root in on your calculator. So second square root, negative 12. By the way, if your calculator does not do it this smoothly, you can come talk to me and we can learn how to do it another way. 8.49, okay? So I get my two answers. So 12 plus 8.49 equals, and then divided by 2 is 10.25 is good enough. And then 12 minus 8.49 equals, divided by 2, 1.76. And again, all this does is give you a grasp of how to use logarithmic equations. I mean, if you want to see something, go ask Sheldon, okay, from the TV show. Okay, next problem. First, you need to condense that side into one logarithm. And then x plus negative 2. Okay, now we need to use the base 2, set the base 2, and this whole thing's a power, and that whole thing's a power, okay? So log base 2 of x times x plus negative 2. Cancel those, and we know that's 8, okay? And then I will be taking x times x plus negative 2. Pretty easy to multiply this. 1x times 1x. 1x times negative 2. So 1x squared and negative 2x. So that's what I put here. Okay, and then move the 8 on out of here. Put it behind it if it doesn't have anything to go with. And now you got 1x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. Okay, time to do our GCF T-chart. Combination. GCF, you don't have one. ABC, 1 times negative 8 is negative 8, difference of 2. And that's 2 times 4. You find that. So A is 1. So this does factor. So we got XX, 2 and 4. So you got minus 2x, you're going to have minus 4, difference is plus 2. Okay, so your answers are going to be negative 2 and positive 4. Okay, next problem. Condense that side into one logarithm. Battery low, whoops. Not on my camera, on my computer. Okay, now set your base 3 up. That becomes a 2. And we write that whole side, log base 3. You just copy down what's over there. It's really not that hard. So those cancel. And this side we know is 9, obviously. Now go to your scratch paper because otherwise you don't have any room to work. You're going to have x plus negative 9 times x plus negative 3. So I take x times x. I take x times negative 3. I take negative 9 times x. And I take negative 9 times negative 3. So that's x to the second, negative 3x, negative 9x, and 27. Okay, so we got 1x squared. You have negative 12x, so minus 12x, and then plus 27. Okay, so there's 2 answers. Since you have x squared next, set up your factor boxes. GCF, you don't have. Oh, no, you have to subtract 9. See, I almost forgot. Okay? It's easy to get through that gauntlet and say, oh, we'll just T-chart that, but there's always something over there you have to move. Plus 18 equals 0. I'm pretty sure I just did this problem. Yeah, I did. Hermson, you fail at life. Okay? I'm just going to get the same answers. Okay, you have this to do. I don't know if the T-chart works. If it doesn't, use your song.